If you're in the market for a new ergonomic office chair, you've tuned in to the right video. So today we're taking a look at the OdinLake L1 Ergo Upgrade 518 Ergonomic Office Chair. Now, I know that's a long name, but this chair also has a long list of features. Honestly puts my old ergonomic office chair to shame just with the level of adjustability, comfort, and overall functionality that this chair provides, as well as the ease of building this chair. I honestly think it's unmatched at the price point. It comes in at just $319 US. Later in the video, we're going to put it up to the test against my $350 Flexi Spot chair, but we'll get there in a little bit. First off, I want to show you guys how simple and easy it is to put this chair together. Now, the key to any easy assembly process is a great instruction manual, and OdinLake definitely delivers on that front. And when it comes to the actual hardware needed to build this chair, it's nice and labeled on the packaging, and there's also an extra screw for each process of the assembly. Now, when it comes to the wheelbase for the chair, typically those might be plastic construction, and they would ship fully assembled, but in this case we actually have to build the wheelbase of the chair. But it's very simple. You have this 5-spoke center, and you just attach each one of the legs right onto there with a screw. You have your little cap, attach the wheels, and it's as simple as that. So the process for the wheelbase, very simple. Now we attach the back of the chair to the base, attach the arms, just 3 screws there, and then we can go ahead and put the chair together. And the last step is to assemble the headrest. So you see those lines that will line up where the headrest belongs on the back of the chair. Lock that in place. There's a bottom part for the clamping mechanism that goes right on the chair, couple screws, and that's it. 15-20 minute process. Now, I know there's a couple extra steps when it comes to the assembly of this chair, especially when it comes to the wheeled base, but it allows OdinLake to provide a really robust, completely metal base for this chair compared to the typical plastic bases of many of the other office chairs at this price point. But overall, it's still a breeze to put together. 15 to 20 minutes, and I was able to completely assemble this chair by myself while also trying to film the process. So again, shouldn't have any troubles when it comes to assembling this chair, and it also makes it, nice and streamlined, small packaging that OdinLake is able to ship out to you, making it easy to transport, easy to move if you're bringing it to an office, or stack up if you're, buying 20 of these chairs for your small business. But now it's time to get into the real crux of any office chair, and that's how comfortable it is to sit in and use on a daily basis. I've used my fair share of office chairs over the years, and this one definitely stacks up really well, especially at this price point. Now, when it comes to adjustability, actual setup of this chair for, the initial usage, if let's say this is your personal chair, you're using it for your work from home setup, but maybe you're sharing it with a spouse, or you're sharing it in an office environment with other people. Maybe it's a kind of in and out open workspace. Anybody, first come, first serve, gets to use the chair. This chair is one of the most easily adjustable ergonomic chairs I've ever used. All of the switches to adjust any of the settings are located right to the side of the seat, not underneath where you're, trying to struggle to reach for them. They're all right there, and it makes adjustability a breeze. And you're not just adjusting your typical settings on an office chair. Typically you'd be able to adjust the height. You'd be able to maybe move the seat in and out to adjust for depth. And you can also, of course, lock the recline of the chair. And for those that have a headrest, be able to adjust the height of the headrest back and forth. What sets this chair apart is the ability to actually shift the entire back of the chair up and down. So I can actually shift the entire back of this chair up, or I can shift it all the way down depending on the user's height. Completely adjusts where the ergonomic support for your back actually meets, and makes this thing super adjustable depending on, one, the height of the user, but also just whatever feels comfortable for your particular body. So that is just a nice feature and creature comfort to have on a chair like this. You also have fully 3D adjustable armrests. So you have full up and down. You also have in and out motion on the armrest for full adjustability of those as well. So from an adjustability perspective and a customization to your particular body, this chair honestly exceeds so many other chairs out on the market, and it does it with such an amazing ease of use, having all the switches and buttons right there, easy to access. Adjustability is definitely the starting point when it comes to office chair comfort, but of course, design and material selection play a big part in comfort as well. And OdinLake definitely does not disappoint in either of those two areas. So when it comes to the actual material selection of this chair, they've gone with the FlexBreath Mesh fabric across the entire chair, both on the base as well as the back, which allows for maximum breathability, no problems staying cool sitting in this chair for a full 8-hour day, none at all, which has been great. And also just overall material selection around the arms. They're a nice rubberized, grippy material, definitely comfortable to rest on throughout the day. So overall, no complaints when it comes to the actual material selection of this chair. And when it comes to the design of the chair, it's super, super nice. The C-shaped curve on the back is very, very comfortable, provides maximal lumbar support throughout the day. It also has the full 135 degrees of rear angle tilt. That just is so nice when you want to sit back and take a little break from the day and from work. And it has plenty of spring load so that it's easy to then get back up. And it just feels very, very smooth and comfortable. So overall, comfort on this chair is very nice. And like I said at the start of the video, if I were to compare the OdinLake L1 to my existing FlexiSpot C7B that comes in at $350, I think I'd go with the OdinLake. If I'm being honest, just from material selection as well as comfort and adjustability, the OdinLake doesn't disappoint at all. Whereas I've had some issues with the FlexiSpot over the last couple of years that I've owned it. Starting off, the mesh seat of the FlexiSpot, a definite selling point at the start when I first bought it. They also do have a full mesh design. It is comfortable, don't get me wrong, but it definitely gets a little bit warm if I'm sitting on it for a full 8-hour day. And when it comes to the overall adjustability of the FlexiSpot, there are similar features and functionality as compared to the OdinLake. You have full height adjust, depth on the seat. You also have an interesting feature when it comes to actually being able to push the lumbar support in and out. I much prefer OdinLake's take of actually being able to lift the height of the entire backrest altogether. And then when it comes to 3D armrests, the height adjust on the headrest, as well as having an extra tilt adjustment on the FlexiSpot, there's a lot of nice features, don't get me wrong. But when it comes to the overall design and functionality, adjustability and comfort level, the OdinLake wins out in my book, and also at a cheaper price point. So for $30 less, you have a whole set of features very similar to the FlexiSpot with just as much comfort, really nice material selection, and overall just a great ergonomic office chair to work in for an entire day, day in and day out. So if you guys are interested in picking up the OdinLake L1 Ergonomic Chair, there'll be a link down in the description below. If you have any questions or want a little bit more detail on the chair, definitely leave those down in the comments below. I'll definitely be responding to those. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, get subscribed to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.